Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel. I am here with this month's scrapbooking kit. I'm going to go over what's in here real quick. There are 3 packs of flowers from 49 and Market. This pack of metal arrows, some hummingbird chipboard pieces, and film strip chipboard pieces from Scrapaholics, and the paper set. So the Beauty Restless from Craft O'Clock. So you can see the print there. Some chipboard pieces to go with that set, and some junk journal extras set. So some cut apart pieces, tags, and tabs, and then just some card size pieces and some words and phrases there. So that's what I'm going to be working with. I'm going to kind of I'm going to use this set, and I'm going to make a calendar, but it's going to be like a purse size calendar. And I have this little book here, so you can see it's not very thick. It's a cover. I don't even remember exactly where I got this one, but it actually says album for the young and old. See if that'll focus there. There. I don't even know what was in it at this point in time, but I thought that this, I mean, it's kind of larger, but it is still kind of something that could stick inside a purse. So I'm going to kind of go calendar, planner, work with it. And it actually was, it just worked out perfectly that it had something to do with album for the young and old, time, calendar, and the color of this cover matches those golds and browns beautifully in this paper here. So that was such a coincidence that worked out on my part. So I'm going to get everything that I think I might need together, and then come back and start building my little calendar planner here. First things first, this paper that had the numbers on it, I've cut 2 parts out of to use on the cover. So it'll be here. See, I kept it away from, or I kept it back from the edges where there's bins. So there and there, it'll go like that. But before I get there, I want to add the ties I'm going to use for closure. And I have some Tim Holtz trimmings. This is from my stash. And I'm going to use this one right here. And I'm gonna make it, keep it kind of long actually, just because if I do that like so, let me see here, see how long it really does need to be. So maybe about like that. So I'll probably use about 2/3 of what's here. And I'm going to use a craft knife. And I marked approximately, you can see right there, that's some Sharpie. And I'm going to cut into the edge so I can put the ties in, just tuck them in there using some super heavy gel. And then I'll just clip them in place while that gel dries. Alright, since I already have some gel that needs to dry, I am going to also start work on my cover pieces so it can dry at the same time. And I really want all of this to be sturdy. So, there we go. I'm going to brush on some PVA glue here onto the back of this to glue it to that front. Okay, my paper's dry, or the glue on my paper is dry. The gel that I used to put these ties in is set. And I'm still going to be working on that cover. And I want it to be something that's sturdy. So I'm going to work with my Stars and Moon mold here. And I'm going to use some resin. Now this is clear resin, tabletop quality resin. So after I get everything mixed up, I will have to set the mold aside because it takes 24 hours to be set enough. Well, it takes a while to be set. I can pull it out before 24 hours, but it won't be all the way hard. Anyhow, and I'm using that resin because I know it's not yellowing, and I think that it'll be kind of cool having like that translucent look going with the stars. I might just do all of this just because it might work out easier for me, but I'm going to need Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to use some alcohol ink. Now this is the Sunshine Yellow. It came in the July 2020 mixed media kit. I'm going to use that to add some color. And then I have some different mica powders over here. Magicals from Lindy's Game. Here. It's that I'm going to kind of brush on here, or in the holes, so that when it pours it'll kind of catch it, but I don't want it too much. Hopefully, I'm trying to kind of explain where I'm going here, because once I get going, I don't know if I'll remember to stop and talk. Oh, and I have some mica flakes that I may mix in as well and pour them in to the epoxy. So I'm just going to get going. I'm going to make my epoxy up. I do have some work time before this is set too much, but with everything I'm planning on doing, I think that I might still kind of be pushing my luck there. So I'm just going to get going, mix up my epoxy, and I'm starting with the ones that I'm going to try to get to that amber color that's on this paper, and then see where I'm at the end of that. My resin pieces are dry. And let me hold them. See if I can't hold up. You hold it up. You can see some of those flakes in there. You can see that I did get that color to match the book. And I'm going to get everything stuck down now in approximately this layout. This is some beautiful. I cut it another one of these. I cut another one of these just kind of diagonally across. It's some beautiful board from Renee Bouquets. That's from my stash, to just add a little bit of a different texture there. And this is already an antique white, off-white color, and it is coated. And going with my idea here of not really wanting to put too many mediums on here, because it will be going in a purse theoretically, I'm not going to add any kind of paints to that. I'm just going to glue it down with everything else. I'm going to actually look through here and see if I have some other pieces that are sturdy that I can also add to this front cover. These arrows are kind of nice there. Let's see. Now I'm just gonna grab up some heavy gel, and this is some matte super heavy gel, and lay this out like so. And I actually want to kind of get started with this beautiful board, because I'm going to want to make sure that it's on here really good. I'm going to also use this gel as a means of protection for the paper here. I'm going to brush it on the paper and then stick this beautiful board down to it. I was sitting here looking at this, and I decided I'm going to brush some of the matte super heavy gel on the beautiful board that's back here, especially where I had cut, just to give it a little more stability. This is dry, but I'm going to set it aside for now. I don't have a book press, but what I do have is a lot of books that I'm going to stack on top of each other to weigh it down while I glue my little calendar pages all together here. So I'm just going to line up the edge. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to line up the edge, back edge here. Lay them down on my mat. Okay, you can see how I just have a little bit of edge out of that paper right in here. And so I'm going to just use some PVA glue. Okay, so I'm just going to use a bit of this PVA glue here to brush it on in layers. I'll do a few thin layers instead of trying to do one thick layer. And hopefully this will work out. Alright, hopefully that side view just showed you how I had it lined up. and I put on 3 thin layers of PVA glue, and that gives me a little calendar for 2021. And I did leave blank pages in between each month. I have plans like decorating it a little bit, a place where notes can be made of maybe what happened during the month, other things you might want to remember. But I do have this started, and I'm thinking that I'm also going to find one of the papers from the pack to use also to cover this and to line the inside and make some pockets and such in here. But I'm going to start out with looking for papers, or even in here, depending on how they're fitting, to use as covers. Nope, not there. Okay, you can see the 2 papers that I have picked out. I'm going to use this as a cover for my calendar pages, and this to do the inside of the book here. So to start, I'm going to kind of line this up here, and I want it to stay together while I work with it. So I am going to clip it in place here real quick. And then work it around like so. And that gives me some very faint creases in here. So I'm going to bring those out. A little bit there. I'm just going to fold it back, grab up my bone folder, pick up that paintbrush in a minute, give them definition. That's what I was trying to think of. I'm going to give these definition with my bone folder there, since I know where they have to fold now. Just like that. Clip this back on in here for now. And then I'm going to add glue. And let it dry there again. you can see my little booklet put together here. I'm just going to set that off to the side now while I work on my inside cover. And first, I want to smooth these back out and strengthen it up where the old book had been cut out from. So, I am just going to use some 2-inch bookbinding tape. Just to cover up that spine like so. I am just going to cut the 2 halves I want here because I don't want a lot of buildup on the spine. And I'm not going to glue them in yet because I'm thinking of how I'm going to add in just a couple of pockets in here. But I kind of want to get pieces started getting cut out so I can see how it's all going to go together. Alrighty. I'm just going to talk about this real quick. These are real simple. I just took a couple sheets and made some beginnings of pockets. A couple different sizes. I'm going to have a couple on the front and a couple on the back. This isn't a real thick spine, so I can't go too crazy. But I'm going to take them over to my sewing machine and sew up along the edges here. And then I will come back and start putting everything in, I think. I think that's about where I am. Okay, I did come up with a decision. And this is just some linen, 1-inch linen hinging tape. And I'm going to add it to my front cover, and you'll see why, because it's going to be in a few places around here. And I cut off this section of phrases, and I'm just going to really start adding them in on these blank pages near the top, so that if notes need to be added, the boxes are kind of small. There's a little note section right here, but this would give a little bit more places to write. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add some of these phrases to the in-between pages, and I'm going to put these tabs on every other one like so, and just kind of try to space them as good as I can, and then that will make this almost finished. And then, and I saved these specifically because this is a 2021 calendar, and I'm going to very carefully, well, semi-carefully fussy cut them and add the 21 to this front cover here. Okay, I think I'm ready to start putting things together. I have the calendar booklet already. I have just a few pockets made up to turn into pocket pages. These are cut down, and to help hold in the calendar, I'm going to use this bit of trimmings. Is from the same package that the ties to close the calendar book with came on. And I just want it centered here, but I do not want to take away the spine, just because I really do love the title of the book for this calendar. So I want to see about where that's going to line up. And kind of see how long I'm going to be needing it. I think I'm just going to put this down. And I'm going to use a mix of PVA glue and another layer of this binding tape. And then I'm going to layer these in. And add in my little envelope pages. And yeah, and that's where this comes in. I'm going to use that same 1-inch linen hinging tape for my little envelope pages. So first things first, I'm going to add some glue. And you know what, actually I'm thinking I'm gonna go grab up some chipboard, I think, and cut a strip out just to really push this in here and give it something sturdy to hold up against, unless I do actually that. I don't want that covered. Alright, I just cut off a pretty sturdy piece of chipboard, and I'm going to use it in here to sandwich this string in where I want it. So there's going to be a very liberal amount of glue and tape as well to build this spine up just a little bit. Okay, because the string is round and I really wanted to make sure it wouldn't move around in there, I just added a single layer of stitching there at the top and the bottom, so it doesn't take away from the title, but it does also help to hold this tie in place. So I'm just going to trim these up real quick. Grab up my calendar. And there. Tie it in now. And so that holds the calendar in place. There are just those little tabs there that hopefully will hold up to usage. A tie to go here around the front. Just something kind of grungy and not a lot of mediums on it. Just using items from this month's kit. Well, the papers from this month's kit, I should say. I used the papers from this month's kit. And a free printable calendar just to make one there. And it does also leave the option, if you want to take this out, you can. A couple of pockets for some tags. So I'm just going to close this up right now. Set it off, let it finish drying. And make something out of a couple of these chipboard pieces. Now for my final little pieces here. This is just some brown felt I had, and I'm going to cut out some circles about the size of the, or a little bit smaller I should say, than the chipboard. Because these are going to be for the backs of these chipboard pieces when I sandwich these jumbo paper clips between them. And that's what this hot glue is here for. So I'm going to try to get it all in place. And you have to be careful to make sure you just got it above those ends there, so that your paper clip will still work. That's why I lay it down, so that hopefully it won't slide around on me. Just pop the chipboard in place there. Now I can't say that I came up with this. I did not. I saw it a couple years ago. I believe it was Jeanette Lane that I saw do this. I couldn't swear to that right now, but I'm pretty sure. And every once in a while, I remember it. Sometimes I forget to do this, but sandwich them together with that hot glue. And now there are some customized clips for that calendar over there. My little calendar book is finished now. I used those papers in here that are from this month's mixed media kit. I dyed some clear resin with alcohol inks to give a little something extra to the cover, but that would be more sturdy than a painted surface if it was in a purse. I have some beautiful board from my stash from Rene Bouquets. I created a couple pockets in the front here. I sandwiched a jumbo paper clip between some felt and a chipboard butterfly from the kit's chipboard piece, and made it so that there are some customized clips for this that can go in however is necessary. I cut out this 2 and 1 from one of the sheets from the paper because it is a 2021 calendar in here. The calendar is a printout from printablesandinspirations.com, and I did leave pages in between each month for more notes, but also added some of those phrases that came with the package in the kit. Cut out some tabs from one of the cut apart sheets that's also in the kit, the same package that the words were in. And I have all of these in here. It's not perfectly spaced, but it does, I'm just going to say that it goes with the grungy of the papers here. I have some trimmings, some Tim Holtz trimmings from my stash to close the book and to hold this calendar in place in the center here. I used some linen hinging tape and some bookbinding tape to build my backup. I have a couple more pockets here, and that was it. That is my little purse size calendar for using the items that were found in this month's scrapbooking kit from Tres Jolie, and using that color board as inspiration with the purples and the golds, even though mine's not like a metallic gold, but still it worked out in so many ways that I had this old book in my stash, and it worked great for a calendar because I love the title for this. That's why I worked so hard to not cover the spine, is because it was Album for the Young and Old, and I thought that was great, and it was the right color to go with these papers. Sometimes things just work out. So I hope you enjoyed this project and it gave you some ideas of what you can do with the papers that are found in this month's scrapbooking kit. And it gave you some ideas of how that color board can be interpreted. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications when other projects come up or the reveal video at the beginning of the month. And I will see you again soon.